Okay, so you were saying you got a couple of tickets before in DC?
I received a couple speed camera tickets to the tune of about $205.
Okay.
And didn't realize that I was going over the speed limit, but those cameras sure did.
Where were those cameras? On New York Avenue?
No, that one I think was on Connecticut at Chevy Chase Village.
Yeah,
And then I found out that camera is very notorious for generating a lot of revenue for
and speed limit is like 25 miles an hour on that area.
Yeah, and that's,
right?
you're coming off the Beltway, and then all of a sudden dropping that speed limit way down, and the speed going down, the traffic flow is very high.
Right.
So it's really, now I'm conscientiously, I use my speed control going down into the district. So.
So overall, would you say that PhantomALERT has paid for itself?
Absolutely.
Would you?
I couldn't even tell you by how much, because now I recognize where these cameras are.
So it helps you to remind you where all the cameras are?
Absolutely.
What other stuff besides speed cameras are you getting alerted to?
Well,
you get red light. Did you get red light cameras?
Anything that the folks in the self-monitoring of PhantomALERT put into the system. So.
What about speed traps? Have you gotten any speed traps?
Yeah, speed
traps. Where have you gotten alerts for speed traps? And there was a cop there.
Well, the biggest one that comes to mind is north of 95, right before you come into Baltimore. To the left, there's always many times there's a cop car there, either going north or southbound. So that's the biggest one that comes to mind.
And do you get an alert on your Garmin?
Yeah.
So what do you use? You're using a Garmin?
Garmin, yeah.
Okay, and you get the alert on the Garmin?
Yes.
And how difficult is the download process?
Piece of cake.
Piece of cake?
It takes me 2 seconds. Take my USB cable, plug it into the unit, log in, put my PIN in.
Log into?
To PhantomALERT.
Oh, PhantomALERT.com. So you go to the website, you connect your device to the computer, and then you put in your PIN number and you download. And how easy is the download process?
Piece of cake.
Piece of cake.
It takes 2 seconds.
2 seconds. Okay, perfect. And how about you, sir? What do you use? What kind of device do you have?
TomTom.
You have a TomTom?
Yes.
Okay. So tell me about PhantomALERT. How did you get introduced to PhantomALERT?
Well, I was a courier for 25 years, and I play music on the weekends, so 90% of my time is behind the wheel.
So you're a professional driver?
Yes.
You have a CDL?
Yes.
Okay.
A friend of mine, I was with him one night, and we were riding down the road, and all of a sudden I heard this big moo. And I was like, what the heck is that? And he goes, well, that's PhantomALERT. I said, well, what is that?
What do you mean? You heard a moo on what?
On his GPS.
On his device. Oh, okay. His GPS was making.
It was warning him that there was a red light camera approaching.
Okay.
And as soon as he told me, I said, boy, that's a great
So
tool.
You're saying that the alert is a moo for a red light camera on his TomTom?
On his TomTom. Yeah, they're all different. Mine
so you got different voices, yeah.
Verbally. But on his, I guess he has a cheaper model that doesn't have the voice activated. So it has he has his as a moo. So when it comes to a red light camera, it moves.
Okay.
So I thought it was interesting, and I figured for the money, what do you got to lose? I mean, it's very inexpensive. So
$30.
Try it for a year.
Right.
And like I say, my year's not up; it's coming up. But when it does, I'm going to get a lifetime because there are so many things when I drive home from gigs late at night that I can't see or not aware of that helps me with. It's a dangerous curve coming up. Mm-hmm. Or if I'm working my day job, I'm a courier, so everything is time effective. Not that I speed, but time is very important. So if I'm going through an area, it'll warn me if there's a school there, which is very important to me because I don't want to ever hurt a child or anything. And kids have a tendency to dart out in front of the vehicles. Mm-hmm. Now, this isn't a catch-all. If you get PhantomALERT, doesn't mean you're never going to get a ticket because there are policemen everywhere. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it doesn't mean you can speed till you get to the next speed camera because there could be police in between there. But it's a good aid for me. It helps.
So it helps you slow down and avoid traffic tickets.
It keeps me aware, yes, of everything that's going on.
Both of you, you're not using PhantomALERT to break the law or to speed or to get away with speeding or running red lights. I mean, you're using this proactively so that you don't run red lights.
Yeah, and
don't speed in school zones.
Because a lot of times, if you're driving 300-400 miles a day, you're paying attention to everything around you. But sometimes you kind of with the vehicles we have nowadays, so sophisticated, you don't realize sometimes, hey, how fast am I going? Phantom Alert will alert me, hey, you're going over the speed limit. And that helps me back off a little.
Well, and also, I'm traveling on a daily basis doing multiple stops. It keeps me up to speed on new cameras and new laws.
Right.
New speed traps, yeah.
They're popping up
Constructions,
all over the place.
yeah.
Yeah, construction,
Speed cameras, yeah.
Changes in roads, all kinds of things that, how am I ever going to keep up on a day-to-day basis
Right.
without a device like Phantom Alert?
Earlier you said about something about red light cameras and accidents. How does a Phantom Alert help you avoid accidents at red light cameras?
Well, the problem that I found is people will approach a red light pretty fast, and then when they see that camera, they lock on the brakes. And if you're behind them, you're not getting much of an opportunity to do anything. So knowing that there's a camera coming up not only alerts me to, hey, slow down because there's a red light camera, but it lets me be aware of the other drivers around me. How are they going to react when they notice that camera? Because a lot of them just slam on the brakes, and I mean, that can cause...
So you might rear end them.
Exactly.
Yes, absolutely.
So this Phantom Alert will tell you that there's a red light camera coming up. So one, you don't run the red light, and two, you keep an eye out for the guy in front of you. So just in case he slams his brake, you have enough time to slow down and not rear end him.
That has happened to me several times.
What has happened?
Where people have, I guess they at the last minute noticed the red light camera, and they lock on the brakes. And when you're behind them, you're not getting much of an opportunity, because if the light just turns yellow and they see that camera, they're slamming on the brakes.
Right.
And another problem too I find is a lot of the yellow lights, some of them are so quick that by the time you approach the intersection, it turns yellow. The next thing you know, it's red. So that, you know, this way I know when there's a camera, I'm going to slow down and I'm going to stop. And, you know, that's safety for me, it's safety for the people around me, and lets me be aware of the people that are in front of me.
Excellent, excellent. Now, would you recommend Phantom Alert to other drivers?
I think people would be foolish if they didn't for the money.
Okay.
It's not expensive. Tickets are so much more expensive. And before Phantom Alert, I was getting tickets left and right saying, well, I wasn't even speeding, or the light changed quick, but there's no defense. You know, they're saying, hey, you're guilty of something, you're going to pay. There's no way I can say, hey, well, wait a minute. So, but since I've been very, very happy with the product.
What about you? Would you recommend Phantom Alert to other drivers?
Absolutely, and I'll have people that'll drive along with me, and they'll hear it go off, Phantom Alert go off, and what's that? And I have to go through and tell them all about Phantom Alert and tell them that how it all came about. But absolutely, I recommend people to use it. I think, geez, I think that the government should hand them out, for God's sakes, and slow everybody down. If that's the purpose of the camera to begin with, is to slow people down, well, give me a subscription.
So wait a minute, are you saying that the government should be giving out Phantom Alert subscriptions?
When you go to your motor vehicle, you get a Phantom Alert subscription. I mean, that's...
So I guess with every ticket that they send out, they should be sending out a subscription to Phantom Alert.
Absolutely, if that's the purpose of the camera, right?
So you think that the purpose of these cameras is for safety or for revenue? What are your thoughts?
I'd say it's 10% safety and 90% revenue.
Why would you say that?
Once they see that kind of revenue come in, and it's, let's face it, you set a camera up, initial cost, once that's over with, that thing just keeps taking pictures and tickets day in, day out, rain, no sickness, nothing like that. It's totally
no union.
No union.
No complaints.
The money doesn't go to the counties or
That's
the state,
correct.
though, and that's the thing that bothers me.
What do you mean by that?
Well,
You mean the revenue,
yeah,
the revenue from the
revenues,
cameras?
most of it, from my understanding, are going to the companies that are running the cameras. So, my opinion is they're going to do whatever they can to give out as many tickets as they can, because that's how they're making their money.
Well, it's a company for a profit, so they make profit whenever somebody gets a ticket.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So are you saying that the traffic camera companies or the camera vendors are happy when people get tickets?
Oh, they love it.
Really?
That's, yeah, offer me $5 a car for every speeding car I turn in, and watch how many I turn in by the end of the day.
So profit is the motive, not
Exactly.
safety.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
I want to hear when the revenue drops what these folks are doing, and if everybody is obeying the speed limit and they're not generating tickets, what are these companies? Are they going to take the cameras away now? I mean, I'd like to hear that conversation because they're out for the revenue.
Well, if you're a for-profit company, your goal is to maximize profit, not to go out of business.
There you go.
So what do you think is going to happen when, when people start using more and more PhantomALERT and people are aware of where all these speed traps are?
Revenue goes down.
So what's your prediction? Is it going to be more PhantomALERT users, or are they going to make PhantomALERT illegal because it's so effective? What do you think is going to happen? What's your prediction for the future?
I hope it never becomes illegal because it's a safety tool for me.
Well, no, we've always been proud of you, but we just didn't expect it.
And not just for speeding. Speeding is just, I guess, something that they want to pick on. There's too many other safety measures in effect.
Right.
I see it. It's right there.
If they make Phantom Alert illegal,
Right there.
that almost tells me that it's a revenue generator. I mean, that's admitting that they're doing it purely for revenue and not necessarily for safety.
Good point. Good point.